new bike day. The Lauf Uthald has arrived. The box is in pretty good shape. Got a little bit smushed here. End of the hub axle is sticking out there a little bit. Got physique saddle and an FSA SLK carbon post. Little packing list there. We have bag. And what's in the bag? Nice little Lauf Uthald bag. Some of our SRAM goodies. We'll go through this in detail in a minute, but looks like we've got a torque wrench, top cap, a little bit of assembly grease, some documentation, tubeless valves, spacer for the hub. Just a quick look at what else was in the box. SRAM Access power pack, 2 batteries, battery blanks, 1 charger and a cable. A little bit of documentation from SRAM, 1 brake block. The zip wheels included spacer, maybe that's to run 11 speed, a couple of valve stems to go tubeless, a couple of valve core tools. Seat post includes some carbon paste as well as a special instruction there for the seat post. Got to kind of squeeze the box open there to let the front wheel come out. Pull some of this. Very nice. Nice packing job. Like how they used a box up here to keep that bigger box intact. Very smart. The Lauf unboxing video showed hanging the bike by the fork on the box here. And I think that's a pretty good idea for the unpacking here. Some nice use of some protective fabrics here, taped in place, as well as the cardboard. Really pretty nicely packed here. Some thought went into how they're boxing these bikes up. This bar is light. So we're going to put the seat post in next so that I can put the bike in the work stand and just look at the fit and finish on stuff like the seat collar, nice and smooth, Lauf branded, lightweight. Look at the finish on the carbon here. It's really quite nice. Smooth, clean, a little bit of carbon residue there. It's all right. And so we're going to get the FSA grease applied to both the post and the inside. That stuff's nice and liquidy. Get a little more down in there. Seat collar back on. stem faceplate, we're going to be more civilized and use a proper tool. Key thing with this is to keep the torque setting low. Put it on 3 just in case. Best to get these started with this. I'm not going to torque these at all right now. Lauf says to mount this up dry. These stem bolts slide in real nice. Keep that right there for now. Alright, with the seat post properly installed and the bar on the stem, put the bike in the work stand, brought it up high for ease of working. So let's keep unwrapping. More creative packing engineering here. Snaps right. So you can see the blank is in the rear derailleur, blank is in the front derailleur. Remove this little piece of tape. Guess that's there just to protect the finish. And what do we have here? Tension, battery cover, remove insert under battery, replace cap. Alright, peel that off. Pedal washers, so go ahead and get those installed. A pair of Shimano XT pedals, because that's what I like to run. Get a little bit of grease on each of these. Got the pedal washers in place. And to torque those up once the bike's on the ground. You just see how it pedals here in the 35, 36. Oh, smooth. Look at that. Close-up view of pristine red E1. Is in the 35, 36, just smooth as butter. Here's a close-up look at the Zip 303S with the Maxxis High Road 32C tires, SRAM rotor, center lock with a zip ring. These should have tubes in them. Let's see, there's a drain hole right there, that's kind of nice. So these should spin beautifully. Hold the through axle here. Nice spacer there to keep the fork safe without a wheel. So what do we have here? 123.5 M12 by 1.5. I'm not sure how standard or proprietary that is. This has already been greased, so that's looking good. Fit and finish on the fork, real nice and smooth. Nice and clean. The threads look good. Yeah, beautiful. Pull that brake block out. Get a nice close look at the bike here. Next step is to put air in the tires. Note the document here says the max tire pressure for these hookless wheels is 72 psi. 72 psi max. I like using this digital inflator from Amazon. Things easy, step back. All right, 48 psi for the front tire. Feels really firm. Remember, that's a 32C. I'm going to remove that nut, not necessary. I am going to put the valve cap back on, keep those new tubes fresh. Probably. I think we'll try 58 psi for the back, 58.5. Remove the ring, replace the valve cap. Bike on the ground, air in the front tire. Torque up this front through axle. Lauf included their own little torque wrench, but I think this style torque key is a little bit easier. Fixed at 5 Newton meters, which is what they want the stem bolts set at. Go through these in a crisscross pattern. Even gap on the stem faceplate top and bottom. Use our 8mm to get the pedals tight. Nice tight pedals. Tight stem. Front wheels tight. Extra large Uthald with XT pedals, new out of the box, 17 pounds, 11 ounces. Nice feature of this bike is Lauf's house brand Road Smoothie handlebar. You can see it's flared out at the top, but it's round in the center to allow a standard stem, standard Wahoo mount. Just to recap as well, I went through the bolts on the bike, and really the only thing that I had to set was the stem, front axle, the pedals, and the seat post. Other than that, everything is pretty much dialed in, set up, torqued correctly. So really nice out of the box experience here with Lauf. Nice feature of this bike is that it comes with SRAM's top of the line red group set, including the integrated Quark power meter. When SRAM first came out with this integrated chainring, integrated into the power meter, I thought, man, that's not a good idea. But the reality is I've got SRAM power meters from 10 plus years ago that work just fine. Their chain rings are super durable. So we're going to open up this little battery port right here, and that was just hand tight, just about right out of the factory. And I'm going to take that little red thing out of there, a little red piece of paper, and we're going to put this back on. The prongs look nice and clean in there. Battery looks clean. We could check the voltage on that, but let's just trust it's going to be fine. That green light came on right away. So in a minute here we'll go get the Wahoo head unit, get that paired up. One step closer to the ride. That's interesting how that fits on there. The stock saddle is a nice Physique Aliante, standard round rails on the FSA post, but I am going to swap this in for my favorite Cell Italia flight. You can see they're pretty much the same length. The flight might be a little bit longer. The flight's definitely flatter. It's got a very different curvature. Kind of a minimalist design on this FSA post. Each bolt works separately on one of these little arms there. So let's see if we can get this saddle in here. Turn those two. Back rail is in place. Front's in place. Gotta hold that top piece in place while you turn this. So we'll open the measure app on the iPhone. Then you got the level. Okay, we're back in the work stand. Did a little count. The rear free hub on this zip hub is, to my count, 36 clicks. So 10 degrees range of motion on the crank. Fully acceptable for what this bike is going to be doing. Also wanted to check the crank arm length on this extra large, and Lauf went with 175s. All good. Let's see how these wheels spin and rotors. Take a look at how things are spinning here. Looks like the wheels are perfectly round and true. The brake rotor is pretty much perfect. Get a look at the front here. They're both turning real nice and quiet. Check how true this is. Yeah, pretty much perfect. Okay, time to install the batteries. Pull out the blank. Take the blank off the battery. Off the battery. Put in the rear battery. Snap these two things together so the battery blank and the derailleur plug are together. Noting the red E2 derailleur. Rear derailleur has sort of a plastic shroud around where the battery goes. Kind of an improvement over the mountain derailleurs that I've got. Let's see how well she shifts right out of the box. I have not made any adjustments. This is how it came to me from Lauf. Nice. We're fully crossed up. 48.36. Super smooth. Just a tiny little bit of space left there. See the auto trim on the front derailleur as we walk down. Right there. And again right there. Nice. There's a view of the cabling. So the front brake hose just comes into the fork here. Comes back out right there. Rear brake line goes through the middle. You can see it pops out back there. No contact points here. A little bit of contact point right there. So I'm going to put a piece of protective tape. You can see that's where it actually enters the frame. So looks good. So here's where the rear brake hose touches the chainstay. So I'm going to put just a little piece of racer's tape in there to protect it. Probably not necessary, but why not? Maybe a little bit less chatter. I think this bike's going to be real quiet. So we just went through adding the drivetrain to the SRAM Axis app. And of course, now we've got some new firmware available. So we'll go ahead and 2.49.1 with 2.46.9. That was a nice quick update. And the left is also 246.9. Let's say install. Press the button. The red lights are flashing. See that over there. Be a pretty quick update. With that update successful, continue. It's going to reconnect. Components. Red rear derailleur. New firmware. Let's see how this one goes. Install. Press and release the axis button. This is going from 246.8 to 249.1. And successful. Continue. It's a new firmware as well. Install. Also 2.49.1. This one taking a little bit longer. Maybe a front derailleur's progress bar is moving just very, very slowly. While that's running, you may notice I put a pair of bottle cages on. It's interesting, they give you a lower mount here, but if you got two cages, you have to run this cage in the upper position. And that curvature of the seat tube sort of makes this bottle sit in a funny place, but it might be easier to get it in and out. See how it works. Definitely a significantly longer update for the front derailleur, but not a concern, just what it is. Still working. Okay, successful. You could hear the derailleur chirped a little bit there when it was done. All right. So we are up to date with the drivetrain, all present. Now we need to get power meter into place here. Connected, firmware version 10. This looks happy. All right, not messing with anything there. Micro adjust came to me out of the factory at 18. Shifts perfectly. We'll keep it there.